I go where I wanna go. Jean!
Scott!
Jean?
Scott!
I summon the Arctic winds!
No more mutants!
I summon the Arctic winds!
No more mutants!
I summon the Arctic winds!
No more mutants! There's always more gators in the bayou.
Don't get a
Hello, woo, hello, Dish, and welcome to this special bonus where we are covering X-Men 97 comic book number 3. My name is Shawn. I'm the ultimate excavationist.
And I have something about X-Men myself, Kevin. What?
Wah! All right. So this released May 22nd, 2024. This is the penultimate, I just love that word, comic in this 4-part comic book prequel to the X-Men 97 show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Written by Steve Fox, artist Salva Espin, colorist Matt Mila, and VC's Joe Sabino as letterer. So we were just talking about Steve Fox on yesterday's episode because he's also doing Kid Juggernaut. Yay!
Right. And I said, I'm like, that's the guy that's doing 97 because I remembered that name.
And I was like, you're absolutely wrong, you fool. No. All right. On the cover, we see Rogue, and she is sucking the life out of Sienna Blaze as Bishop, Gambit, and Jubilee Watch.
But you also have a variant cover. Talk about that, beauty.
So that was actually for X-Men number 2, X-Men 87 number 2. But yeah, I have I think 4 total versions of book 1. I have 2 versions of book 2 and then just 1 version of book 3 so far. But my beautiful version 2 cover is Rogue and Gambit embracing, but it's very sad because Gambit is slowly disapparating away as she's holding him.
Right. So it's almost like, because this is supposed to be before, but it's almost like a foreshadowing of the series.
Yes,
Ooh.
mama.
Okay.
All right. And then on the synopsis, it says, as Cyclops takes up the reins of leadership of the X-Men from his departed mentor, Professor X, mutant kind moves into a brave new world in which public opinion has begun to sway towards acceptance. This does not sit well with the factions of humankind unwilling to give up on hate and fear. Meanwhile, darker threats head the X-Men's way in the form of the Marauders, a team of evil mutants who have ambushed the heroes as the heroes, led by Sabretooth at the behest of Mr. Sinister. Ambush the heroes as the... Oh, I see what they're saying, because the Marauders are pretending to be heroes fighting against the X-Men. I get it. That was just confusing, though.
Confusing.
All right, you start us off since I did the beginning stuff.
Okay, so the beginning. So we are right in the middle of the battle that was happening last issue, and we're out in the town, and there's a tornado happening, a cyclone, probably from Riptide over here. Whoa. And what's that He-Man looking thing again? What's his name?
Harpoon.
Harpoon! I could imagine him thinking like the Dragon Ball Z character Raccoon, but he's Harpoon.
Oh.
And we have a reporter, cameraman. I don't know if that's his name, but can you move your fat ass? Anyway, and he is videographing, recording Trish Tilby. And Trish Tilby is like, I'm a reporter from downtown where the superpowered bar brawl has spilled into the streets, endangering the local populace. And then we see another Trish Chubby come in to frame. It's like, hey, guys. And she continues with just the sentence. It's like, we'll be completely fine thanks to the fast action of several devastatingly attractive mutant heroes. In fact, my whole news crew will now be evacuated to a safe distance. And the real Trish Chubby's like, crazy lady, crazy whoever you are. And we find out it's Morph, of course. And Trish Chubby and the cameraman, Kenny, run away. And yeah, Morph's just like, ha, 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 ha. Crowd control. Look at me. I'm so good.
I love this image is Morph, like half morphed. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, half morphed. It's good.
Yeah. And then Morph turns into Hulk and says, civilians cleared. You ready to smash some Marauders, Logan? And Logan's like, it's good to have you back, Morph. Feels like old times. Slink, swish, snap, snicked. And then Hulk or Morph says, nostalgia, that calls for a classic move. Too bad I don't have any, so how about? And he like uses Logan's back to like jump off of him. And he like bitch slaps Riptide and says black. And he says a mean green slow ball special instead.
I'm a mean green slow ball special.
Yeah. And in this case, I did call Morph he, but only because Morph is Hulk at the moment. So that
right.
No, that's just a excuse.
It's fine.
Okay.
Thwack. Okay. And then we see Morph Hulk say, oh, hey, Storm. Long time no see. And then Storm's like, you are a welcome sight, Morph, even in that form. But you'll forgive me if I focus on the battle at hand before any warm reunions. And she zaps the cars and Rick, what's this person again?
That one is Arclight.
Arclight, thank you. Someone does the shockwaves. I'm like, which the name? Okay.
Yeah.
So Arclight, and then at the bottom we have a Wolverine and Sabretooth standoff, which is very common in these things. And he's like, you two can handle the Joker, Sabretooth is mine. And then Sabretooth is like, grr, always bite enough more than you can chew, runt.
And then Logan is shot in the back, wham, and we hear freeze, and Logan goes, gah, and Sabretooth goes, this one's all yours, Logan, as he starts to run away. And then we see the FBI are there, and we see someone familiar. My name is Agent Carl Denty. For the crime of public endangerment, I hereby place all mutants in the vicinity under arrest, and I do mean all.
Oh, you know what? I'm actually surprised we didn't see Executioner more in '97. I wonder if he's gonna be coming back at all.
Yeah, I feel like he has to, because like he's a big character and
right.
He has a figure. He has no figure.
Because they kind of introduced him. And he was like in one episode, really, and then they have all this whole back set up with this comic book of him. So I'm like, he has to be somewhere.
Yeah, I agree.
But then again, season 2, they're all time displays anyway. So where's he going to be? It's weird. I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder if with Magneto like taken out of the picture a little bit, and with Mr. Sinister gone, if they will focus more on like Executioner and Bastion. I wonder if Bastion will ever come back. Things like that. I don't know.
Yeah. And then, so what's her name? Serena? What's her name again?
Sienna Blaze.
Sienna Blaze. Okay. But anyway, so we see Rogue here. This is continuing off her absorptions from last issue. And she's like, I beat the power all over me. Grr, my teeth. And then she's like, I can feel the entire planet. Oh, I'm not doing her voice. I know. Oh, well. You get what I'm doing. The entire planet's electromagnetic field coursing through me. Feels like every bone in my body's going to rattle loose, sugar. And then we see Sienna Blaze like, ooh, more than you can handle, Southern Belle. I admit your little leech effect drained me, but it won't be worth it because you cannot control it. It took me years to control it. You suck. And then Gambit comes running over. He's like, you two handle the full Gambit will tend to rogue. And then, ooh, this tiny little text. Jubilee says, that girl had her full serving of cuckoo puffs today. And Bishop's there. And because he's back from the little concert, so he's in his fancy dress, Bishop. Ooh, I love his fancy dress, Bishop. And he says, we got to take Sienna Blaze down today for good. Oh, yeah, she's like, we didn't have any entry on her from the archives. And then we see, that's because, Sienna's like, that's because I always escape. And she teleports. And they're like, what? Jubilee, she can teleport too? Bullshit.
So then we see Rogue on the ground, and she's trying to control Sienna's power. And she says, Remy, I can't describe this power to you. One wrong move and I could mess with the whole planet's electromagnetic field. And then Remy says, then it's a good thing you're in control, Non. You come a long way since Gambit first laid eyes on you. And she says, I can handle the raw power, Remy. That ain't the problem, the raw power. But even Sienna don't know how to keep her abilities in check. Oh, I went a little Gambit there. Gambit says, that's because Sienna Blaze don't care about no one but herself, Cher. But my Rogue, she's a bona fide hero. She care about the whole world.
Oh,
look at that bulge on Gambit. Hi.
Yeah. Well, this is like the image they use for. This looks like the image they used for the 2-issue cover almost.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And then Rogue's like, "You're right, Remy, but right now the first thing I care about is getting back at the little brat." Oh, and then Bishop in his fancy dress. Oh, he is so sexy, this Bishop. I can't get over it. I mean, his button-down shirt. Anyway, okay, we're not doing a sexy as a character in these, are we? Okay, anyway. It's like, we're not getting back at anyone or getting back home unless I can get the Blackbird up and running. Blaze fried our stabilizers. Jubilee. She's like, oh, great. Snake's never going to let me fly the jet at this rate. But he wouldn't have crashed if I was the pilot. And she kicks some dirt. Dang it all, I'm never going to drive this thing.
Dang it all. All right, upstate at the mansion, we have Cyclops running from Hazard? Was his name Hazard?
Yeah.
Okay.
Second
and
panel.
Hazard says, you will pay for the sins of your father, Cyclops. And he's like, ah! And then Hazard's like, all who followed Charles Xavier's cruel example will suffer at the hands of Hazard. And then we see Jean protecting herself and Beast, and Beast says, at least our uninvited guest has thoroughly introduced himself. Hazard does seem a fitting nom de plume, given his destructive capabilities. And Jean says, I've got a shielded Beast. Oh, but whatever you're doing, I would do it quickly. Oh. And
my orb shield.
Says, my orb shield. Beast says, I am trying with great haste, Jean. My digits may be furry and clawed, but I assure you.
Continuing on, they're still capable of activating the mansion's defenses. And all of the windows and doors go slam. The metal shutters come down. And Hazard's like, I will not be deterred by steel panels. For decades, I have considered how best to take my revenge on Charles. I wanted to save at the moment, but I can now see. And it goes, kaboom! And he explodes things. And then the gate of the X Mansion is torn apart. I can... that I must not allow any vestige of his legacy to stand even a second longer. I will come for you.
And then suddenly, the mansion comes back together in a blue magical light, and Hazard goes, "What? This isn't fair. I demand vengeance." And Cyclops says, "Jean, you're..." And she's like, "Yeah, bitch, I'm telekinetically undoing the damage Hazard caused." Yes. So please, Scott, let me concentrate for a moment.
Yeah. And the next page, she's like, "Oh, I'm fainting. Oh." And then Scott's like, "Oh, let me catch you. I've got you, Gene." And she's like, "I'm fine, Scott. Really, I'll be okay." He's like, "You can't exert yourself like that anymore. Not in your condition, because you're preggers and you can't do anything now." And then Beast says, "It appears Jean's show of force intimidated Charles' acrimonious acquaintance. The mansion sensors are no longer detecting Hazard anywhere on the grounds." My apologies, Scott. Did you say Jean was contending with some sort of condition? Oh, my stars and garters. You don't mean... And then Jean's like, "Yes, tee-hee-hee. Not exactly how I hoped to tell you, Hank. Tee-hee-hee. Sexy, sultry, Nala eyes." And then, yes, and then B says, "The best laid plans of mice and mutants, my dear." You're so funny, Beast, with your sayings.
All right, and then meanwhile, in Westchester, Logan says, "If you think you can barge in here and arrest the X-Men for saving lives, you got another thing coming, pal." And then we see Morph kind of in between Morph and Hulk, and they say, "Easy will be easy. Save the claws for the bad guys." And then Logan says, "I'm looking at one, Morph." And Denty says, "No, you're looking at life in a cage, meaty, where you belong." And then Storm comes in, and she uses her power to rip the gun out of Denty's hands. And she says, "Enough! We have had our fill of men in uniforms pointing weapons at us, Agent Denty. By the way, do you know that Allison Seeley Smith, who voices me, did Shakespeare?"
Also, I have to say, wind, take that gun and blow it away.
"Blow that gun away!" And then Wolverine sniffs and he goes, "Wait a minute. Caught a whiff of his scent earlier and couldn't place it."
Yeah, so then we have like flashback. It's like, "But it's all coming back to me. All coming back. It's all coming back to me." Okay, that. And from a long time ago. And then we see like past Logan and a past Sabretooth and a past, who else? Who was the other guy?
Maverick.
Maverick, yes. Okay. Yeah, because it says right there. It's like, what's the sit-trip? Sit-trip? I don't know.
Sit-rep.
Sit-rep. I don't know what that is.
Like, what's the situation, or like what's going on, kind of?
I've never heard that word before.
Oh.
Okay. Oh, that's why I don't know military talk. Okay. What's the sitch? I want to say Kim Possible. What's the sitch? Maverick. Oh, nothing special, Logan. Just some dirty agents. Oh, selling state secrets to militia. And then Creed is like, "Which ones are we hunting? The dirty agents or the militia?" And then he goes, "Come on, Creed. We're Team X. They hired us to take them all down." And then, who's this? This is Denty saying this? "We've been exposed. Leave no survivors." Oh, because they got workers there that are just like civilians or something. I don't know. I don't really understand what's happening. Is that what's happening? Okay.
That's what's happening.
Okay. Oh, there's more. And then that's the plan, meets Stick, and then he slaps the guy. Watch it, Creed, they're just fighting. And then they throw it as a grenade, and it explodes on some guy's face. And he's got a grenade. Kaboom. Blood.
So this guy in the green shirt is Denty, and we're seeing
who's
that
this
he's
guy?
making... the guy with the beret, he's making like a crooked deal with Denty because Denty's like taking money from him.
Okay.
So they're showing that he's like working with underground people. And then Denty has that scar on his face. And when the grenade goes off, that's what causes the scar.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Thank you. I was just like, I don't know which one's him. I know he's in here somewhere.
Yeah. All right. And then Wolverine is super pissed. And he's like, I remember you from my mercenary days, bitch. You've always been crooked, Denty. And Morph is like, Wolverine, no!
His little Morph head with their little Morph head.
Yeah, his little Morph head on his Hulk body. And then Arclight claps her hands vehemently, and it goes, sure crack, and like causes everybody to go flying. And Sabretooth jumps onto the side of one of the like vans, like shielded vans. And he's like, looks like you folks have some unfinished business to sort out. Me and the Marauders will leave you to it. See you soon, Logan. And then Logan's
that armored car.
Yeah, armored car. That's what I was trying to think of. Armored car. And Logan's like, get back here, Creed. And we go, squee, as the car drives away.
Yes. And then we see Denty like kneeling on the ground. And Logan comes to him and he's like, I don't know how you buried your crimes, Denty, but I'm going to make real sure they come to light. And then he's all cocky. According to our files, you're an expert of sins of the past. Ooh. And he's like, why are you out of blah, blah, blah. And then Storm's like, enough, Logan. This man will be held accountable, but not like this. And Morph's like, ooh, looks like accountability is coming in for a landing right now. And then we see Val Cooper in her pretty red. Val Cooper is wearing a red dress out of the copter. She's like, clippity, clappity, clippity, clappity, clappity. And Agent Denty, this was not an authorized field mission. You are well aware that the government no longer considers the X-Men enemies of the state, and your renegade actions today have allowed 5 no-mutant threats to escape custody. How dare you? And then he's like, with respect, Red Val Cooper lady, all mutants are known threats. Ooh, bitch.
Ooh, bitch. Ooh. Yeah, saucy. All right, and then we see Storm fly down next to Logan and Morph, and she says, Dr. Valerie Cooper, I believe that it was only hours ago that you assured us the world's leaders had turned a new page in mutant-human relations. It appears not all of your subordinates have caught up to this development. And Val says, and for that, Miss Monroe, I sincerely apologize. But believe me, Carl Denty is a little bitch, and he will not go unpunished. By the way, I'm working with Bastion to destroy you all. So, yeah, whatever. It doesn't really matter.
Right?
And then as they're taking Denty away, one of the cops says, effective immediately, you are to be stripped of your rank and position until a court-martial can be arranged. And Denty's like, fine, take my badge. You can't take my morals. Mutants are a danger to this country. And once I get in touch with my Friends of Humanity contacts, mutants will finally get what they deserve. So he just straight up told everybody.
Yeah, you can find me there. Maybe being turned into a other person.
Yep.
Back at the mansion. Oh, this is back at the mansion. I love it. Okay. It's like, and then I guess this is Morph first coming back to the mansion, back to the manor. This is Morph first coming back, and Jubilee's like, Morph, it's really you. And then he's like, who else would I be, Jubilee? Oh wait, I guess I can be anyone. And Jubilee hugs him. Jubilee is like, I can even be the old Snaggletooth, grr meow. And then Jubilee's like, oh, yucky poo. Even though I wanted to save him before, and I kind of had a crush on him probably, but not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore.
He's dirty.
Yeah.
And then Logan's like, oh, I hate that guy. Cut that out, Morph. It's like, I kind of really want to punch you in the face right now for some reason. I was like, I'm still annoyed. The real Creed and his Marauders got off easy back in town. Oh, and now he has like a beautiful like saber-tooth fur coat on his on the Morph head.
Yeah, very cute.
Yeah.
All right, and then Bishop's like, you threw down with Sabretooth tonight? And then Gambit's like, funny timing. We met a lady named Sienna Blaze just now. Didn't much like her. And then Rogue is like, knocked us right out of the sky, sugar. And then Beast is like, I'm afraid this mounting coincidence is far from humorous. An armored gentleman announcing himself as Hazard nearly destroyed the mansion late this afternoon. And Jubilee says, God, I'm so fat and sweaty. Guess he didn't do a very good job. Mansion looks pretty intact to me. And
Knock
Scott
on wood.
says, knock on wood. But not where you think it would be. Scott says, thanks to Jean, she used her powers to fend him off and undo the damage he caused. Hazard will pay for putting her in that kind of danger. And then Jean says, oh, don't get upset again, Scott. I know I have to be careful now that I have our child to think about. And everybody looks happily
Really?
surprised.
Yeah, creepy happy.
Except for Bishop looks like nonplussed. Morph looks like he's looking at Logan. 'Cause he sees how sad
He's like,
Logan is. Or
yeah.
they're looking at Logan.
Yeah.
And Jubilee's like, you're what now?
It's like, you're pregnant. Who's pregnant? You're pregnant. Ah! Sorry, it's that charm thing again.
Oh. Poor dejected Logan with the big bulge. I feel bad for him. Your head snapped down so quick.
I totally zoom like, yeah. Gambit's was nicer, just saying.
Yeah, it was.
All right. Next page, we see Jean Grey's family home several days later. Are we sure we're going to land the jet here? I don't know who said that. Somebody said that. And then I just know it's going
Beast.
to... Oh, Beast, because it continues. I just know it's going to wreak havoc on the flower beds. And Rogue's like, I'm sure the Greys won't mind, Hank. You're too busy expecting the first... They're too busy expecting their first grandchild. And then, Morph all dressy, snazzy in the suit and tie. I love it. And they go to Logan. Didn't feel like dressing to impress Logan. Who do I have to impress, Morph? I'd rather be ready to fight if we get attacked. And then he come down, President Summers and his wife. Or maybe it's President Jean and her husband. I don't know. They look very presidential. It's the Obamas over here. And she's like, oh, Scott, is Logan right? Did we make a mistake holding our baby shower at my parents' home? Oh. And then Scott's like, you deserve to experience a normal motherhood, Jean. That's why we didn't have it at the mansion. None of our enemies know where your family lives. And even if they did.
And then he says, there's no place safer for us than with the rest of the X-Men. But we see the Marauders. They are in action. They're running down a street. And Mr. Sinister says, at long last, it's time for the next step in my plan. The world believes the X-Men to be heroes. Let us see if humanity feels the same way once their heroes are responsible for the destruction of an entire town. To be concluded.
Yes.
So it looks like he's sending the Marauders to destroy a town in the name of the X-Men.
Yep. Ooh.
And what a fun cover on this last one. We see Mr. Sinister, like, all big, and, like, there's all these X-Men, like, chess pieces that are being thrown around on top of the Marauders. So I can't wait for this last one. What
It's
a sinister game you play.
It's like, I want these figures.
Yeah, I would love to have these.
Yeah.
Why do they do this to us? They make like retro X-Men 97 playing cards, but they're not real. It's just on a poster. And look at these cool figures, but they're not real. They're just in the comic.
I know.
All right. So what did you think of comic book number 3?
Again, I still love the art. I always think the art is super pretty to look at. The colors are great and everything is beautiful. I don't care about the story.
Yeah.
like it's all just seems trivial. Like especially after getting 97 and how everything was so impactful and climactic. This is just like Saturday morning cartoon basicness.
Yeah. I do like in this one we got a little more on Denty and like why he has the
Scar
and everything. I don't know. It's kind of weird to me that all the way back in comic 1, Logan wouldn't recognize the scent right away. Like it took 2 more comics for him to I don't know.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, you're right. It seems kind of frou-frou. It's enjoyable, but there's nothing like heavy hitting yet. There's no reason for this comic series to be made yet.
Right. It's like it's fun, it's light, but I mean, I think this would be fun for smaller kids, maybe to like get into X-Men to get familiar with the characters. But for seasoned or well-versed X-Men people, even the casual fan, I think this is not going to give them much to chew on.
Well, and even Mr. Sinister's plan, I'm going to send out Marauders to make the X-Men look bad. It seems a little trivial for Sinister. Like, he's into much bigger things.
It's like, that's all you're mad about is that people like X-Men. That's your whole thing, okay? Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry.
So, I mean, and I know they can't, like, really go into, like, interfere with X-Men 97 territory, but still, I would have liked a little bit more.
Yeah, a little bit more. But you're right. The art is beautiful. It goes very well with the show.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I mean, I think we did sexiest once, but we already got yours.
Yeah. I love my Bishop.
Yeah. And I love this Gambit package with holding Rogue. It's like a double whammy.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's everything for this third comic. If you didn't listen to yesterday's episode, we are taking a break until June 21st, when we will be back with the rest of the Fox movies. And then we'll kind of see from there. Like, I expect that we'll get into X-Men Evolution, but it depends. Like, will they have announced season 2? What else is going on out there in the world? So we'll let you know when we know.
Yeah, and I gotta say, like, a part of me is my brain is freaking out because it's like, oh my gosh, we're doing 97, then we're going to go to Evolution, and then we're going to be cut right back to 97, and my brain's like, the order is all goofed up. It's not right. But then again, it's like, I don't want to wait a year doing nothing either, so I don't know how to remedy that, but it's going to be just goofy.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We could also look, do we do some of the anime maybe? Do we go into that? Or we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Figure out the timing.
Yeah. Because we're always going to run into this because now that X-Men season 3 is being made too. Yeah. We can't just keep pushing Evolution back.
Right.
Okay. Well, cool. Well, thank you everybody for listening. The comic book number 4 doesn't come out until July, so we've got a while before we get to wrap this up. But of course, we'll do another bonus episode wherever we're at. Or June. Comes out in June. Sorry, not July. So we'll wrap this up next month along with the movies.
Yeah. Ooh.
You know what I didn't do yesterday on yesterday's episode?
What?
You can find me on Instagram under Shawn Perrette. That's where you can find a link tree to all of mine and Kevin's projects, Words of the Witches, Solving for X, Once Upon a Cult, those old episodes, Marvelous Galaxy of Disney, my book,
with the Hallowells.
Hanging with the Hallowells. God, we have so much fun.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. All the things you do.
Find you?
Yeah. You can follow my personal Instagram, KJEEZY87. I am posting a lot of shirtless pictures. I mean, I guess that's not new, but I feel like I'm more in the zone because in my play, I have to be in my underwear for half of the show. And so I'm like really trying to like make sure I'm show worthy ready. So there's that happening there. Otherwise, you can find me on my other podcast that is soon to return, Words of the Witches. We just did the musical. I'm still trying to figure out these after episodes. I might not do 4 of them. I might just do one big one and see who shows up because I don't know. It's going to be hard to schedule people, regular people.
True.
Oh, God. But I'm excited to start season 3 with you. I already have my first episode back prepped. So, yeah, let me know if you need the book or something. But yeah.
Yay, I'm excited.
Yay.
All right, thank you for listening. We'll see you back here on June 21st. Same bat time, same bat place.
Boom, 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 boom. Exy.
Exy.